was a mirror, held up to power, a mirror the world looked into and quickly tried to cover. For decades, Epstein moved through the highest levels of American and global society. Presidents, princes, billionaires, celebrities, scientists, bankers. He was not elected. He was not famous for achievement. He was not publicly accountable, yet doors opened for him everywhere. The FBI would later describe his case as one of the most complex sex trafficking investigations in U.S. history. And even today, much of it remains hidden. When federal agents raided Epstein's properties, they seized thousands of items: hard drives, CDs, external disks, photographs, surveillance equipment, financial records, and contact books filled with names, some powerful enough to bend nations. These materials became known collectively as the Epstein files. What makes these files terrifying is not just what has been released, but what remains sealed. Epstein's crimes were severe, not isolated, not accidental. Multiple victims testified that they were recruited as minors, groomed, trafficked across state lines, and abused repeatedly. This is not rumor. This is sworn testimony under oath. Sex trafficking of minors is one of the most serious crimes under U.S. federal law. It destroys lives permanently. It creates trauma that does not fade with time. And Epstein didn't act alone. According to prosecutors, he operated a network: recruiters, enablers, financiers, and protectors. Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted for her role. Others were named but never charged. Why? That question leads us into darker territory. One of the most discussed elements of the Epstein files is the flight logs of his private jets, often called the Lolita Express. These logs were entered into evidence and later unsealed through civil lawsuits. They list dozens of influential names. It must be said clearly and responsibly, appearing in a flight log, address book, or photograph does not prove criminal activity. But here is why it matters. Ordinary people accused of far lesser crimes lose everything instantly. Careers end, doors close, reputations collapse. But around Epstein, many powerful figures remained untouched. That contradiction fuels suspicion. Media reports and unsealed documents have confirmed that Epstein had social or professional contact with figures such as Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, Richard Branson, and others. Some have acknowledged knowing Epstein. Some have denied close relationships. Some have cut ties publicly. No court has convicted most of these individuals of crimes related to Epstein. Yet rumors exploded because the system failed to deliver transparency. Donald Trump, for example, appears in social photographs and is mentioned in media reporting related to Epstein's social circle in the 1990s. Trump has stated he cut ties with Epstein long before the crimes became public and has denied any involvement. No charges have ever been filed against him related to Epstein. Bill Clinton has acknowledged traveling on Epstein's plane for philanthropic reasons and has denied knowledge of or involvement in any crimes. Again, no charges. Prince Andrew faced civil allegations, denied wrongdoing, and later reached a financial settlement without admitting guilt. These distinctions matter, but so does the bigger picture. Why was Epstein protected in 2008? Why did federal prosecutors back off? Why were victims silenced? Why did the FBI reportedly express frustration that the case was shut down from above? Former officials later admitted that Epstein's plea deal was extraordinary, almost unheard of. He served limited jail time. He was allowed to leave custody for work. He returned to wealth and power untouched. This was not normal justice. This was selective justice. In 2019, everything changed. Federal agents arrested Epstein again. This time, no deal, no immunity, no silence. For the first time, a real trial loomed. Witnesses were prepared, subpoenas issued, files reopened, and then Epstein died, officially suicide. But the circumstances shattered public trust. Broken cameras, sleeping guards, protocol violations. The FBI and DOJ insisted there was no evidence of foul play. The public wasn't convinced, because Epstein's death ended something far bigger than a trial. It ended the possibility of exposure. After his death, pressure mounted to release the Epstein files. Lawmakers passed transparency acts, Courts unsealed portions of documents. What emerged was disturbing, but incomplete. Thousands of pages remain redacted. Names blacked out. Entire sections sealed. The DOJ insists there is no official client list. But they also admit not everything can be released, so the rumors persist. Not because of proof, but because of silence. And silence, when it protects power, becomes suspicion. The severity of Epstein's crimes cannot be overstated. This was not scandal. This was not gossip. This was organized exploitation of minors. Every delay in transparency deepens the wound for victims. Every redaction fuels distrust. Every unanswered question strengthens the belief that some people are simply untouchable. Jeffrey Epstein is dead, but the system that enabled him still exists until every file is open, until every failure is acknowledged, until justice applies equally. This story will never end, because the most terrifying part of the Epstein case is not what we know, it's what we still don't.